But he got to learn it with the feet so he knows when and why he's taking that risk.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's where people like myself come in because I understand that. And they would say, why you trying? The reason I don't say much more, Stephen, because I don't never want guys to think I'm trying to.
You hating on them.
I'm trying to take your time.
This is knowledge.
It's all it is.
2 undefeated champions, 1 ring, and a fight that could define the next era of boxing. If Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney finally collide, who really walks out on top?
Was particularly anxious to fight Shakur because it's frankly probably a fight that Shakur is going to win.
Devin Haney, you know, Conor Ben, like there's a lot of fights that like Shakur can like be involved in and beat all these dudes, man. Beat all of them. Has the chance of beating all of them, right? And solidifying, you know, his mark in the sport. You know, being, you know, the great of his generation.
Experts in boxing are divided on who might take a future Shakur Stevenson against Devin Haney matchup. Both are young, polished, and undefeated title holders with clever approaches. Stevenson is respected for defense and timing, while
I actually don't know. I mean, my mind says Shakur probably win, but then I see the great work they did with Loma, or that he fight with Loma, and overcome a lot of different obstacles in that fight. It could be hard for Shakur. Shakur, right? Shakur Stevenson. That's that call. It'd be hard for him for the long range, the height, the how big he is, stuff like that. And then what makes me think even more is when Shakur say spar with Crawford, and he had lots of problems with Crawford. Even though Crawford wasn't punching him hard or whatever, but you know what he had problems with? He had problems with the long arms and the height of Crawford. So he couldn't counterpunch like he wanted to. Crawford probably would have hit him hard, but it's different, you know, he's longer and stuff, it's harder. So that could be a problem for Shakur that we don't know.
Devin Haney openly challenged Shakur Stevenson and Keshin Davis as possible upcoming opponents, saying a fight with Stevenson would be boxing's biggest next event, before also naming Davis. He posted the call-out online shortly after Stevenson earned his most recent victory in the lightweight division today.
The dream confirms what I've been saying. 3-division world champion, former undisputed lightweight, former WBC junior welterweight, and reigning WBO welterweight world champion, first ballot Hall of Famer once he retires, superstar boxer, top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world, Devin the Dream Haney, 33 wins, no loss, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. He calls out another first ballot Hall of Famer of his era. Ironically enough, Devin Haney is 27, and the person he calls out is 28 years old, who's another first ballot Hall of Famer, Olympic silver medalist, 4-division world champion, former unified super featherweight, who simultaneously up until yesterday held the WBC 135-pound title and the WBO 140-pound junior welterweight title. At the same time, superstar boxer, 4-division champion, who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, Shakur Stevenson, who is 25 wins, no losses, no draw, 11 wins by way of knockout. So Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, as I said, and Devin Haney confirmed it as you see there, this is the next super fight in the sport of boxing.
Paulie Malignaggi feels now is the perfect moment for Shakur Stevenson to face Devin Haney, since both men are title holders and proven names. He explains that their skills and resumes make the bout exciting for fans and important to the sport overall today.
It
Haney, of course, calling out Shakur Stevenson. Shakur saying, anytime you want it, we can get it done. But a little bit of this, a little bit of yakking back and forth, right? I mean, how awesome would that be? These two names.
Well, we've been talking about this fight for a while.
This fight for a while.
Tantalizing.
But now, I tell you,
it's juicy.
I tell you, this fight now is even more juicy than it was the first time around when they were talking about it. When they were talking about it the first time around, Haney was red hot as an undisputed lightweight champion, and Shakur was the boogeyman who was very good, but was having trouble locking in those big
insider
games.
boogeyman.
Right. I gotta be honest, man. Like this could, if this happens right now, this is the right timing too, because both are at a good moment in their careers.
Very high.
It's actually,
and there's a title on the line.
It's actually simmered better than it had back.
Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson go back many years. Both began as teenagers learning the sport, grinding through amateur tournaments before making the jump to the pros. Through time, they've tracked one another's paths closely, forming mutual respect as elite title-holding fighters.
It was really, really something that you wanted to see, but now because of Shakur's recent performance and Haney still being undefeated and having righted the ship, winning as an underdog against Brian Norman, I rate that. I rate when you take on a fight as an underdog and you win it. I rate that. You know, that's why Haney, for me, got into the circle of trust, because he wasn't trying to milk the whole business like Gervonta Davis has. So he's taking on these kind of challenges. He's winning them. He built himself up to that level to now, okay, take on all comers, win or lose, take on all comers. He's got that win over Norman as an underdog. You can say what you want post in hindsight. In foresight, a lot of people were picking against Haney. He gets that win. Shakur, in the meantime, makes his name bigger. You gotta pump those numbers up, and he pumped those numbers up by winning the Teofimo Lopez fight. Now, you know what? Okay, now there's an interest from both fighters. A lot more money, a lot more at stake, a lot more, again, ambition. I like to use that word ambition today. And I think a lot more people will be interested in it than the first time.
But Shakur Stevenson feels sure he can outmaneuver Devin Haney. He thinks his defense, quickness, and accurate counter shots give him an advantage. Stevenson has explained that by managing range, slipping past Haney's jab, and choosing punches wisely, he can control the bout on skill and show he is the better boxer inside the ring.
I like Shakur. I think he's good. I've been knowing Shakur since I was a kid, so I always knew that he was good. I knew that he would be at the top one day. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, me and Shakur, we've been sparring since, bro. I think my first sparring session we were like 12 years old, maybe a little bit older, but something like around there, maybe like 13 years old. So it's been times when he got the best of me and I got the best of him. But I cannot, judge him off of those sparring sessions. I know he's gotten better, just like I can't judge Ryan off of the fights we fought when we were kids, because I know that he's gotten better, and so have I. If you're judging off a sparring session, I mean, you're gonna be in for a long night, especially a sparring session when I was.
Devin is a pure boxer. Stevenson has made it clear that if he ever chooses to move up to 147 pounds for a fight, a rehydration clause would be necessary in the contract. He feels that weight gained after the weigh-in can create a real edge, since some fighters add a lot of size overnight, bringing more strength and physical presence into the ring. By including a rehydration limit, he wants to keep things balanced so both fighters step in at a similar weight, stopping anyone from using size as an unfair advantage. This shows Stevenson's calculated approach, proving he doesn't rely only on talent, but also on smart terms to keep fights even and protect himself against naturally larger opponents.
Shakur Stevenson is a very good fighter, but you gotta learn, and I will hope he will pay attention to this, because this is gonna mean a lot for him. His feet are good, but sometimes they take him too far out of range to be able to come back and counter. The last guy he fought, the guy was a good puncher, so when he was jumping back, he was jumping too far back out of range to where he couldn't come back and get something right away. You understand me? And for the fans, it starts to look bored.
That's how I say. I feel like he was running.
He really ain't running. He just don't understand that distance. Somebody got to teach him, and I would teach him if they ever brought him to me. Teach him, but he got to understand what I'm trying to tell him. I'm not trying to criticize him.
Right.
But when you say something bad, they take the criticism.
Right.
No, son. You got to understand how to not jump. Okay. People know what the thing that dig the hole, the excavator, right?
Yeah.
If you move that thing back too far, you can't reach the job.
Right.
It's gotta work, but it gotta stay on the job while it work. You can't take it out of it. You working with this because this part keeps on the job, the feet. This do the work. If you take the thing and move it back, it's off the job. It can't work no more.
Right.
So if you move back every time off the job, it ain't gonna ever get no work done. So now it's gonna become boring. Why? It ain't doing.
Bill Haney, Devin Haney's father and longtime coach, has been very clear about where he stands on rehydration clauses. He has said publicly that he won't agree to any limits on how much weight Devin can put back on after the official weigh-in. This reflects their belief that fighters should be free to rehydrate naturally and compete at full strength, without artificial restrictions written into a contract. That position, however, could become a real obstacle if Shakur Stevenson pushes to include a rehydration clause in any future fight deal.
It started on hold and it moved to another one. When we gonna get a pond dug? We're not, because it's taking off the job too much. You gotta leave it on the job for it to get a pond dug. And that's his only thing. He a great fighter. He got great eyesight. He has great reaction time. He gonna be a great fighter. He just gotta figure out how to use them feet a little different.
Is he the best defensive fighter out of all four of them?
Right now, defensive, yes, because his defense is with his feet. So what people don't understand, defense isn't with your hands, it's with your feet. And he has the best foot defense in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So if he uses it for defense, when it's strictly defense, yes. But when you want to make it offensive, you can't do the same. You gotta cut it in half. And that's the only thing he had a problem with. Once he learns that, or figures that out, he gonna be a killer.
Would the skill he has now make him the best out of them four?
Right now, no. Because some people gonna say, boy, and the reason the rest of them don't want to fight him is because they know he know that back foot game so well that he not going to engage until he wants to engage. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing too. But for the fans and to be
not right now,
the ratings, you got to be able to engage when they need you to engage.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, then you gonna become bored.
Stevenson's camp feels a clause like that is important to keep things fair, especially when stepping up in weight, so an opponent can't add a huge size edge overnight. Bill Haney's firm stance would likely make talks more difficult, which could slow down or even block a Stevenson versus Haney fight. Trainer Wally Moses has also spoken on rehydration limits, saying they exist to stop fighters from putting on too much weight after the weigh-in, preventing one boxer from showing up significantly bigger than the other on fight night.
If y'all want me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clause. I don't even do that. Yeah. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes if I'm not planning on going there? So any of y'all want to fight me at 147?
Yeah, rehydration.
10 pounds.
10-pound rehydration.
That mean,
the IBF rule, basically.
You gotta understand, that means on fight night, when we get in the ring, they're gonna be 157, maybe 158.
Max.
No bigger than 160 that night.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
So if we could get it like, all right, like the IBF rule, 10-pound rehydration.
Yes, but think about it. If there's no rehydration clause, these guys gonna get up to 170 pounds.
Yeah, 175.
I'm in the 140s on fight night.
Yeah.
So if I'm 140, they 170. Bro, what am I in here wrestling around with these?
Right.
Come on, bro.
How did you feel at 140 though? Like compared to 35, did you feel any difference? Or was it like in your body, like does it feel any different at all? Or was it the same?
Both of them I'm gonna be straight because the weight is easy to make.
Former world champion Tim Bradley believes Shakur Stevenson is on a path to becoming one of boxing's biggest names, potentially even surpassing Terrence "Bud" Crawford in popularity. Bradley says that while Crawford will always be respected for his elite achievements, he never fully broke into the mainstream because he avoided heavy media exposure. Stevenson, on the other hand, stays active on social media and keeps himself visible to fans, which Bradley feels plays a major role in growing his brand. He believes Stevenson's skill set, self-belief, and openness with the media could push him past Crawford's level of fame and turn him into one of the sport's defining figures of the next generation, even if Stevenson isn't naturally charismatic.
Is that, he's on the list, is that a fight you guys are seeking, or are you leaving it alone since he's saying that it would require Devin to get a rehydration clause? Is that something you're willing to get on the phone and discuss how many pounds exactly?
Well, when you're speaking about Debo, you might hear a whole lot of that's inconsistent with things that you say about normal fighters. When you talk about a generational talent like Dev, you would expect those that are elite to look to have, to be on a level playing field. What you weigh is what you weigh, and how you get down the next day is, it's what it's all about, and that's what that.
Deontay Wilder has spoken highly of Shakur Stevenson, calling him one of the smartest and most technically polished fighters in today's boxing scene. Wilder pointed out Stevenson's strong control of range, which makes it hard for opponents to get comfortable or land clean punches. He also mentioned Stevenson's sharp timing, allowing him to counter at the right moments and take advantage of openings while staying safe. Wilder added that Stevenson's defense stands out, using smart head movement, smooth footwork, and positioning to annoy opponents and draw mistakes from them. This mix of intelligence, accuracy, and defense makes Stevenson not just tough to beat, but also enjoyable to watch for fans who value technical skill. Wilder believes Stevenson shows a level of ring intelligence that's rare for someone his age, and if he stays on this path, he could become one of the standout fighters of his era.
Just now, he came out there with the aspect like he's a really big guy, but he's not a really big guy, so I don't want to think he got so much power and he's so strong, he's not no killer. You see him? Seem like a killer to you? Not to me, so.
After Shakur Stevenson put on a dominant display against Teofimo Lopez at Madison Square Garden, Brian "Bomac" McIntyre responded with strong praise. Bomac described Stevenson's performance as a work of art, saying he looked relaxed, smooth, and impressive in the ring, and that young fighters should study it as a pure boxing lesson. He pointed out how Stevenson controlled everything with a smart jab, constant movement, and high ring intelligence, adding that Lopez had no way to shift the fight in his favor. When asked what it would take to defeat Stevenson, Bomac replied, "Honestly, you're better off avoiding that kid," emphasizing just how overwhelming the performance really was.
It's about Shakur and his I would say projection. The irony is crazy because back when I was helping somewhat mentoring Terrence Crawford, Terrence Crawford surpassed everything I done did and more. Interesting enough, Terrence Crawford mentored Shakur, and Terrence Crawford is on Mount Rushmore. Yeah, he is for sure. But I feel like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terrence Crawford.
Amid continued discussion around a potential clash between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, one key barrier still stands in the way. Even so, both boxers sit at the top of their form, regularly displaying the skill, preparation, and discipline that make them dangerous in any fight. Their latest outings and unbeaten records underline their professionalism and capacity to perform at the highest level. Despite the talk, Haney has publicly stated his willingness to meet Stevenson, showing belief and a hunger to take on challenges that could shape his future. At the same time, he respects Stevenson's ability and the toughness of the matchup, admitting that a bout between them would be fiercely competitive and tightly fought from beginning to the end.
I like Shakur in that fight. Shakur is very skillful. He's very smart in the ring, and he comes to fight every time. So.
I think Shakur is massively underrated in terms of his achievements and his ability. Everyone in boxing knows how good Shakur is. He is pound for pound top 5 in terms of quality. But look at the achievements of the young man. At 28 years of age, he's already a 3-division world champion. This is to become a 4-division world champion. Quite remarkable. And Teofimo always rises to the occasion. Sometimes you see a little bit of a lackluster performance when he's not motivated, when there isn't kind of any legacy on the line. This is different. This is a sold-out Madison Square Garden between two of the elite fighters of our generation. And the best thing about this fight is we're seeing them in their prime.
Shakur Stevenson has answered Devin Haney's recent remarks, making it clear he's fully aware of the conversation and prepared for the possibility of a matchup. Their back and forth shows not just mutual respect, but the high-level thinking that defines elite boxing. Both fighters know that a fight of this scale takes more than simply agreeing to compete. It requires careful timing, detailed planning, and smart negotiation. It's about managing weight terms, contract details, promotional factors, and overall strategy. Stevenson acknowledging Haney's comments highlights his professionalism and readiness, while Haney's words reflect confidence and intent. Together, their exchange makes it clear that if these two top champions meet, it will be the result of deliberate preparation, not chance. Fans can expect a calculated, high-skill, and intensely competitive bout that showcases the intelligence and technical ability of both fighters.
Masterpiece, man. He looked so smooth, calm, and relaxed, man. That was beautiful. That was the one boxing lesson that you future guys, young guys and amateurs just turning pro, watch that, man. That was beautiful. You heard his father say in the corner, what happened to your fast hands? That shit didn't work, man.
Just overall, like, just given the styles and in boxing so well, like, was there any way that Teal could have put on a better performance, a better plan, and gotten a better result?
No, I don't think whatever he would have brought to the table would have worked, man. Shakur just got a great boxing mind. That's just it. He's got a great boxing mind, and once he put his mind to it, he's gonna get the job done.
What is it gonna take to beat someone like him?
I don't know, Brian. Probably want to stay away from that kid, man.
Yeah.
Who would emerge victorious if Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney eventually clash inside the ring? Drop your opinions and picks down in the comments section below.
That's truthfully what he's doing, because he's saying that he wants to fight, and he's saying that he's willing to fight Devin Haney. He did an interview on Cigar Talk, said he's open and willing to fight Devin Haney. Devin Haney is an exceptional fighter, but he can't beat him, right? Shakur saying, but I'll beat him. Devin Haney immediately responds, and he says, you're an exceptional fighter, but 1,000% I'm going to beat you, right? Now, here's the thing. Shakur Stevenson is saying he wants a 10-pound rehydration clause, which would mean Devin Haney can't weigh more than 157 the night of the fight. Is Devin Haney going to concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose. We had that 4-king era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost to he quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Teo, overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo Lopez and Xing him out.